My mum shouted at me for not opening the door naked. This happened 2 years ago. One morning, I was just out of shower and had put my towel to dry in our bathroom, and I was in my room. I hear some knocking and I shout at my dad, who wasn't in the house at that point, but I didn't know it. Go open the door, I can't, I am naked. Then I don't hear answer and I put clothes on. When I went to hall, my mum has just let herself in and then she sees me and shouts, "Why couldn't you just open the door? I have seen you naked." To this day this thing still bothers me and I can't say anything when someone is at the door, but I can't go open. Once my mum was screaming for me to come downstairs immediately while I was on the toilet. I tried shouting back that I couldn't, but she said didn't care, wanted me to come down right now, and only grew angrier the more she yelled for me. This happened at 11 p.m. when 3 other family members were trying to sleep. The one time I fell down the stairs instead of up. I was coming down from the attic, managed to lose my footing or something. My knee went into the doorway pretty hard, dead center. Mind you, my mother was a CNA but also a dumb one at that, so I was sitting on the couch for a bit to see how it was. BC, the impact was hard. She kept yelling at me to come see her. BC, she didn't want to get up. I told her I was resting my knee a minute. BC, I fell down the stairs. She yells, "You bleeding or dying?" I said no, but it really hurts from the initial impact. Give me a minute. She didn't give a duck. Still yelled, "Come here," like I was a mutt in trouble. Had me go do a bunch of chores back to back with an angry knee. BC, she didn't feel like doing shit that day. Damn, that sucks. I hope your knee was okay. At a certain age it starts to get uncomfortable having your parents see you naked. My grandmother tells me about how she's seen me naked before whenever I leave the door closed getting a shower or something, but she doesn't really yell or anything. It doesn't matter if the person seeing you isn't uncomfortable. It matters if you're uncomfortable. What matters is if the party is uncomfortable. I live with my elderly mom and she says this a lot. "Oh, I don't care if you're not dressed, but I do." And she walks naked from the bath to her room in front of me and I hate it. It's inappropriate because I am not ok with it. Full stop. I hate when parents say that I've seen you naked. I changed your diaper. Yeah, when I was little, not as an adult. EWWW. Well yeah, when you're a child, they see us naked because it's an inherent and necessary part of caring for us when we don't know how to. With self-sufficiency and independence comes autonomy. I think it's one thing to say I changed your diapers to mean your nudity doesn't make me uncomfortable, and that may be an appropriate sentiment to communicate in specific situations, but to say it and mean your nudity in my presence shouldn't make you uncomfortable, because previously this boundary didn't exist, and therefore I don't feel I need to respect it now, is unacceptable. Your fulfillment of obligations doesn't later function as a get out of treating your child with respect as an individual and a person, even when you disagree with their boundaries. Free card. It's not an either or kind of thing. Literally almost the same exact thing happened to me a few weeks ago. I was on the toilet and just started wiping and then a person knocked on the door and I asked my mum to go and answer since I couldn't, and she said she was busy. Also she wasn't. I heard her going into the kitchen to boil water to drink tea for the 12th time that morning and told me to go, and I told her that I couldn't, so she shouted at me to go myself with my pants down right after having done a poop, because I don't remember the exact words, but it was more or less along the lines of "everyone is always watching us, so what does it matter?" But she meant like stalked by everyone. And then later, after having cleaned up, she tried to ground me for not going down and answering the door. Punishing you for not answering the door, shit-assed and naked. That is some messed up abuse. Oh, don't worry, I didn't end up getting punished just because she has a very weak authority from previous behavior like this and has a tendency to just get angry and run away normally. Why did she have to have you open the door for her when she was clearly able to open it herself? Because that's what she does when she is too lazy to get her keys out of her purse. That sucks. Sorry you have to put up with that kind of nonsense. My parents try to do the same shit on occasion. I hate how some adults have no respect of their kids' privacy. SMH. Here's the thing, my mum would never do this to me because she knows I am totally capable of doing this and even going out to help her bring groceries into the house. Malicious compliance from me. Happy Kate Day. Something's is mentally wrong with her mum, no offense. I actually know that. I worked with a guy a while back who told me about how his family were all very comfortable with nudity and it was completely normal to just walk around the house naked. He married someone who already had a child, so it wasn't even like it was his and he'd seen it since birth. Also, the children were much too young to be able to make decisions for themselves. Always thought that was super weird. Nudity is fine as long as everyone is a consenting adult. Naturists, nudists do a lot of good for their children in teaching them not to be self-conscious about their bodies. It's no weirder for them to be nude at home than it is for parents to bring their children up practicing the family religion and other personal beliefs and interests. You can't raise your kids in a vacuum, nor wait until they're adults to start teaching them your ways. My son came to me in his late teens because he sat on something sharp and wanted me to check it and put a band-aid on it if needed. He was embarrassed. I told him, boy, don't be embarrassed to show me any part of your body for a medical reason. Remember who changed your diapers and bathed you. FYI, he sat on a pin that was on his bed. No idea how it got there. No band-aid needed, but it was sore. Medical reasons are fine. I am a single guy raising my nephew who's now 13. He used to change dry off after a shower with the door wide open while we talked, and he started closing the door now, so I respect that and leave him alone. I was that age once, too, and it doesn't matter what I've seen before. His privacy and comfort level should be respected. Luckily we moved into a place with 2 bathrooms instead of one, which makes things easier since I have some medical issues that mean I sometimes have to get to a bathroom immediately, and while he understood before, I could already tell he wasn't thrilled with it. Plus, like I said before, I was 13 once and I am kinda fine with certain activities being an abstract concept with zero visual confirmation. Oof, I used to have to lean on my door when I was changing because my mum would just bus up in the room and she took the locks off every door in the house except her bedroom. These comments are making me think. I am Finnish, and our culture has a rather unusual view of nudity. Since we go to the sauna, we don't see any issue with nudity when it comes to communal bathing, not even with strangers, let alone our families. Nudity in the sauna is seen as a completely normal, non-sexualized thing. In fact, most people see it as extremely prudish if someone tries to cover up in the sauna. However, outside of that environment we are pretty much just like everywhere else. It's really quite strange. Thinking about it, I'd have no qualms about being naked in a public sauna, but opening the door naked to a family member would feel weird. I am Finnish too. I hate it when parents say I've seen you naked before. I don't care, like bitch if you care. I care and that's enough for me. Why do parents expect to be allowed to override their children's personal body boundaries? Seriously. This has happened to me before too, but my mum realized that it was an irrational request that I let her in naked when I pointed out that I had no way of knowing that she was the person at the door. I am not going to answer the door with my dick out for any and all random strangers. This brings back memories, not as recent thankfully. Relatives were visiting my house, and it might have been my birthday. I was probably 6 or 7, old enough to not want to be naked in front of everyone. My mum asked me to go change, so I went to my room to do that. But people arrived, so they were ushered to my room where the door was just open for them. It couldn't lock, and there I was in my underwear. I was expected to drop everything to go hug them despite my nudity. After that and to this day I make sure I have my fresh clothes ready to put on immediately before I start changing. She would have shouted at you for being naked if you'd opened the door right away, because what if it was a stranger? With some people you will get yelled at no matter what because they can never be happy. One time I went to my great-aunt's house to take her to garage sales and lunch. She was 82. About a minute after I rang the bell, she opened the door in silky granny panties and one of those vintage silk cone bras. I said, "Oh come on Aunt Margie, you could have put up on your robe." She shrugged and told me we're both girls. It's nothing I haven't seen before, but I had not seen anything like that before. This reminds me of when I was attending college while living at home. My mum and brother were out of state visiting family, which left me and my dad home. While I was in the shower, a large 5'9" quake hit. We lived on a minor fault line, so small tremors were common. Due to living on the second floor of an old WW2 converted military barracks, there's a lot of sway. My dad kept throwing the bathroom door open and I keep slamming it shut. I decided I'd rather die than be seen naked. My dad kept yelling, "I really don't care if you're you're naked. I kept yelling back, I'd rather die. 30 years later I still keep flip-flops and a terry romper I can jump into if it happens again. So my mum kinda does the same thing. I am a very private person and I'll go into the bathroom to change at her house and she always thinks it's weird because she's my mum and have seen me naked before. For context, I am 29 and I don't like showing my body. Reading all these entitled parent stories is kind of comforting to know that it weren't only my mother that was a narcissist and neurotic parent. I still at the age of 45 get my balls broken by her on a daily basis by the things she says and does, but I've learned to deal with it, and the good thing is I try not to pass it on to my kids. These are teachable moments to remember because being a parent is hard and having a kid doesn't stop you doing and saying stupid shit, but if you remember what it was like when growing up with an entitled parent, then it does make you more self-aware at how you behave towards your own kids. My stepmom would just walk into my room at any point to yell at me, and I would tell her I was naked and she'd say it didn't matter because she's blind and can't see me. Okay, and my ducking father can see us walk by my room to get to half the places in the house, and you have my door wide, the duck open. At least come in, close the door, and then yell at me for no ducking reason. Jesus. My mum did something similar to this once when I was in school. I was in the shower and the next thing I knew she was ripping open the shower curtain to hand me our cordless home phone because a friend had called. I of course freaked out and yelled at her to get out while trying to cover my parts, which pissed her off because duck my rights as a minor, and it's not like she'd never seen me naked before, you know. When I was a baby, I just remember her being so passive-aggressive to me for the rest of the day and ranting to her friend over the phone that I had the audacity to get upset with her when she exposed me in the shower. Some people are unbelievable. My mum always come in the bathroom when I take a shower. I am 17. It's so uncomfortable and she doesn't stop. She always want to brush her teeth, take a shit or whatever. She say that my showers are so long that she can't wait. Even though we have another bathroom or can't wait 15 minutes. Something like this happened to me in 3rd grade, except she actually managed to open door and I cried while she yelled at me. Good thing that evil Methadit is in jail now. God, I hate her. Next time she comes over and wants to talk when you're buck-ass naked, go open the door like nothing's wrong. It's your house. You can wear what you want or not wear in your house. Plus maybe next time, change the locks. It's your house. It's your rules. And for the love of God, take the ducking key away from her. You know, if she needs anything, guess where she's going to borrow it? Money, electronics, food, your car, anything. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing for more videos.